Check 1, 2. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Saturday? Or at least here in LA, it's very pretty. Just getting everything set up here. Looks like we got some people in there. Cool. How's everybody doing? This isn't my usual time, but we'll see how things go. Maybe I'll switch things up a little bit. But yeah, this is the afternoon here on the West Coast. Beautiful, breezy, sunny day out here in LA. Can't really complain about the weather. And yeah, we're gonna get back to this piece that I started a little while ago. And I might be doing some streaming on my own channel as well on YouTube and whatnot after this for a little bit. Probably not today, but later in the week, maybe in between. Might start staggering things, I think, between my channel and Pixelogic's, just to keep a frequency up a little bit and maybe get some new subscribers and whatnot. So, for those who may have not seen this before, this is a remake, essentially, of another remake that I did. This piece back here, you can kind of see it. I'll bring it up close to the camera for a sec. This is a piece I did for a masterclass with Ultimaker and Wacom, the tablet company that makes all the tablets we work with. This is a massive multi-part 3D print that I did to teach the class on how to create 3D prints that are larger than your build volume. So this is a remake of Antonio Canova's masterpiece called Cupid Reviving Psyche. This was the moment after he kissed and woke her up. And in the original, they look much more children-like, and they're really looking at each other. While here, I wanted to create a little bit more of a story and a little bit more mature setting, so have them both look more like adults rather than prepubescent teens. And so I kind of go for the 300 vibe a little bit. It's just as far as the masculinity, femininity, and the general aesthetic. So this gives you an idea of just where this piece came from that you see on screen. So this is going to be, this next piece, I guess you could say, is part 2, kind of. It's their ascension from Hades and escape from, well, I guess what essentially is hell in that storyline. So yeah, so that's the general idea for what you see on the screen here. What do we got here? Thanks, Comics Legend. Appreciate it. That was printed on the Ultimaker 3 Extended. But this one's going to be printed on the Form 3, ironically. I'm going to do something a little different with the quality. Imagination to Form. Do they ever show ZBrush Core on here, or only the fancy version? Yeah, I think most of us who are professionals mostly just stick with the fancy version. I don't know. Core is very new compared to how long the original ZBrush has been around. So with that being said, most of us, like myself included, have never used ZBrush Core. I think I tried a demo of it or something once. It might have been at the ZBrush Summit. But I just remember it almost felt like I was wearing... I look at it this way. Like if someone says, we need you to type something, and you normally have your fingers free, and then they say, no, here, now put on these boxing gloves, and now type. I was like, this is weird. Like it was so limited for me and my familiarity with the program that it actually created more of a problem for me than it did actually create an ease of use. So it's always about where you start off, I think, and how your mentality works from there. Bin Vishar, hello, hi. So yeah, sorry about the lack of ZBrush Core featuring, but maybe, I don't know, maybe I can mention that to the guys at Pixelogic, the guys and gals, and see what they might think. I'm sure that you're not alone as far as someone looking for someone demoing that live, although I know that they must have videos covering that as well. I'm sure if you check Z Classroom and other areas, you'll probably find some info on there about ZBrush Core. Although I can't say that for sure because, like I said, I don't really use ZBrush Core, unfortunately, for those who are looking for some real-time coverage. So anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm just trying to line up, because I'm piecing together pieces from the old print and the new pose here. So I'm just trying to line up some things here a little bit, and I'll get back to that later. So we got this new arm and the old arm. So I want to blend these together. And so what I'm probably going to do here sooner than later is do some dynameshing and carefully eliminate the new arm and blend it in with the old arm. So yeah, just sort of eyeballing it up here. I don't mean to just arbitrarily rotate it around for you guys. I'm not trying to confuse anybody or waste time. It's just it's how you got to look at a sculpture when you're trying to figure out where you're going to make cuts and blending two parts together. Let's see what we got in the chat. You could not afford the more expensive version. I hear you, man. I know it's not cheap, but it's absolutely worth it. Subscription options are always there too now too. Let's see what else. See which live has been doing them. Be able to find them on Pixelogic. Okay, so they have been doing some. Okay, good to know. Excuse me. Bought a package with Intuos pad, but never found good help. Yeah, I think that could be improved, perhaps. It's just missing a few, features. See, we're some Sculpt off. Set ready, set Sculpt. You just suddenly are told you're only allowed to use ZBrush. Yeah, Doug E. That would be torture. That would be that would suck. And you can only use ZBrush core. We'd all be like, ah. We'd all be in hell. That'd be scary. Do I do the full sculpt? Do I do the full? Do you do the full sculpt of your model, then slice it into parts? Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's essentially the order. Typically, with this one, I'm doing it in parts already because I'm taking some of the old and I'm blending it in with the new. So it's a slightly different workflow. Yeah. So yeah, no, I don't usually design each part separately, but this case, like I said, just blending two old and new models together. So let's see here. So I'm basically going to lop off his arm at a good blending point, and I think that might be around the elbow. So let's see here. So what I'm doing here is I'm just, for those who may be a little new, I'm holding Control and Shift. And that gives you the lasso selection tool here. It lets you selectively remove, temporarily, or I should say hide, elements of your model. And I can solo that out, so I can, if I hold Control and Shift and have the lasso tool and you click on an edge, it'll do the whole edge loop that edge is connected to, perpendicular, I guess. So that's how you get clean, really clean selections like this, where you just have a nice edge loop as the end point. Yeah, so I'm thinking I might just move this a little bit more in place to where the other bicep is. Actually, or I might rotate, I think I might rotate the arm a little bit more counterclockwise from this perspective. Yeah. What else we got going on here in the chat? Mars Pro resin printer having a Form 3 must be really nice. It is. It's awesome, I gotta say. I haven't used it as much as I would like to, but I'm going to be starting to print a lot of this stuff soon, and some new stuff as well. I'm going to be posting a new project I'm working on with a dolphin character. It looks just like a regular bottlenose dolphin, but it's actually based on Echo. If you guys know that old video game from the 90s. I'm going to be printing an experimental type where it's going to be a soft body of a dolphin, so it'll all be printed in the Formlabs elastic resin, and then the internal structure will be a skeleton that's ball hinge joints. So kind of like your, if you know, like Gorilla Pods, it's kind of that sort of system. So there's little balls and hinges that snap together, and that'll be the spine, and then also it'll branch off into the lower jaw, upper jaw, and flippers. So we'll see how it works. I'm not really sure how. I mean, it's going to be experimental, but we'll see. So it's going to be the first test I do with their new resin, which is known as Tough 1500, and then they have an even newer one that just came out, Tough 1500 was their newest one up until like I guess like a month ago, and then they have Tough 2000. So those are different, I guess, durometer strengths or tensile strengths for their resins. So that'll be a cool experiment, I think, and it should yield some pretty cool results. Essentially, I'm trying to recreate something that I always wanted. It's sort of like a stop-motion puppet, but not quite. You could say it's almost like a posable action figure, I guess. Kind of like, I remember when I was a kid, I'm a huge Jurassic Park fan, if you can't tell. Have always been since, I was a huge dinosaur fan since I was a kid. But the toys that they made back in '93, they were phenomenal. They were really well sculpted. The major dinosaurs, like their little T-Rex and the Triceratops and whatnot. And it turned out, I found out that I think the Junior Rex is what it was called, Juvenile, was sculpted by someone at what is now Legacy, but it used to be Stan Winston Studios, which is why it would look so good. Like unbelievably good for a toy, typically, of that mass production. But they really nailed the likeness of the dinosaurs. And anyway, so I was always a detail fanatic as a kid. And so that's what I'm going to be attempting now with a dolphin. Is a little bit different. Some articulation and some cool soft body elements to it. We'll just see what happens from there. Maybe I'll even mold it and try some silicone as well, because I've never done that. So you're going to wait for Tough 4000. Was that modeled Nerves or ZBrush back then with Jurassic Park? Oh, well, ZBrush didn't exist back then. ZBrush didn't exist until like 2002, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I only remember that because that was my last year in college. So I remember it came out basically when I decided to leave medicine and go into the arts. And so I was like, in my last year, and then I heard about ZBrush years later, but it wasn't nearly the tool it is now back then. And so I jumped in, I think at the right point. I jumped in back in I started dabbling with it, I think maybe in 2010, 2011, and then got hardcore with it in like 2012, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe even before then. Might have been 2011 when I got started getting serious, and then 2012 was when I started really working with it. And then I got hired up by a theater to do stage set props, models, and big statues, that kind of stuff, all CNC, but we 3D print them first in a Z-Corp printer. And that's where I really got my feet wet with modeling for 3D printing professionally. And really haven't looked back since. It's been a good road, and I'm just moving forward now with continuing to sculpt professionally for clients, but then also working on a short film, slowly but surely putting that together. And pitch material. Well, the short film is pitch material, but also I'm working on another short film pitch material, actually. So 2, basically. So we'll see how they turn out. But starting to do it all in between ZBrush, Maya, and Unreal. And probably be rendering in Unreal, and also V-Ray Next, I believe, which is like the real-time rendering version of V-Ray in Maya. So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting couple months here. I think the summer is going to be really jam-packed with a whole bunch of new projects for me, and trying to get the short film out by Christmas, if not before. Did all the motion capture myself for it, so pretty far along. Just need to start doing a lot of environment art, which is the big thing. It's the character is me, and then, I mean, it's not me literally. I'm portraying this little kid who's in The Last Guardian. But my movements are all what's going to be the kid, and I'm 3D modeling it now. So after 10 years of waiting now, more Mudbox. Happy to have this new 3D connection plugin working. Okay. Love from Pakistan. Love from America. How you doing? Peace and love. Much spam. Wow. Yeah, what's up with that? A little weird there, Combo German. All right, we got the love. Thank you from Pakistan. If you guys want to keep on spamming here, we're gonna have to remove those. I'm sorry. Yeah, it could be a kid. I don't know. Yeah, guys, please don't spam if you can understand me, because eventually we'll have to block you if that's the case. Don't need spam in the chat. So where's that elbow? I guess that's right there. Let's see. Yeah. So we got our two areas there of the triceps, and there's our little area of the elbow. Alright, so I want to twist this a little bit more. So where's everybody? Are we international here, or are we localized to, aside from our friend in Pakistan, are we localized to North America? Are we all over the planet? Give me a shout out from where's everybody at? Imagination Forms in Detroit, near Detroit. Daniel Paris, good sound of video, cool. What kind of subdivision levels are you at the moment, or has the model already been Z-remeshed? Subdivision-wise, let's see. No, this hasn't been Z-remeshed yet. So this main chunk, the male form here for Cupid, we're at 6 subdivision levels, and that's at 4 million polys right now. I'm just keeping it low for gross large movements because it just makes it easier, and then that translates up the chain. And that's the arm. Let's go back here and go back. Got people in Indiana, nice. Oklahoma, Australia, internationally localized, Florida, Russia, Brazil. Wow. Give my love to Putin. Hello in Atlanta. All right, we are all over the place. Very cool. Oh, sorry, I missed Dougie's question. Did you mask and then extract to create the straps going around the arm? Exactly, yeah, that's what I did. Thanks, yeah, I think, because I remeshed the arm, actually, and that now it's gotten a little muddy, so we're going to do some manual cleanup there, I think, a little bit to get it to look all nice and tidy again, because it's a little jaggy and not the nicest, cleanest area that it used to be. All right, so getting a little too close here. Let's go. Whoa! Sorry, that's my puppy. He's a little active in hearing something. Let me grab him 1 second here. Sorry, 1 sec. Einstein, come here. It's okay. Come here. This is the culprit. This is the guy who's been making too much noise. Einstein, be good. No barking. Okay, no barking. No barking. Okay, be good. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. He's jumpy when he hears different. The guilty dog look, yeah. Yep, sit, roll over, speak. Yep, I didn't teach him how to mute. That's my problem. Does Pixelogic come with corgis? Cool. Yeah, it seems like people on Amazon have a lot of corgis. I don't know if you guys saw that. Like back in the day. I mean, back in the day, it was like a few years ago. They had a calendar come out, and the calendar was just like mostly corgis or like a lot of pets from Amazon or something. People who worked at Amazon. It was just like tons of corgis. It's a popular dog. They're great. I love him. But he's stubborn as hell, too. He's very, very strong-willed. The Queen's dog, you got it. Thanks, guys. Yeah, now he's chilling. He's a typical dog. He hears a loud banging noise. He thinks someone's knocking at the door. So the mailman drops something off. He loses his mind and must protect me from the dangerous mailman. You know, the postman. So, typical dog. Typical alpha male dog. He just wants to rule the house, the apartment. Okay, so I'm getting ready here to lop off this other one. Actually, I might use that as some good reference, though, too, for the way that this arm should flow. And this needs to be rotated, too. The colors are polygroups, in case anyone's wondering. That's why they're so wildly colored. Alright, let's see the central rotation point, like there. And I'm gonna go up a little bit more. And I'll fix this more later. It's not that crucial. Just want to get placement approximated so I know what it's going to look like when it's printed. Yeah, I kind of like that better. Before it was more in line with the wings, and I kind of like there being different angles for the viewer to have more interest rather than everything kind of being parallel. Then it creates sort of redundancy, repetition, visually. So they have a bit more of like your eyes go from the wings. If you're looking top down, you know, your eyes go up to the wings. You see this cross. Just add some more dynamism, I think, some more dynamics to the visuals. And also looks a little bit better, I think, from this side too. When you look at it from the front, I guess what would be considered the front of the whole piece. Translates a little bit better. You see the weapon design a little bit better. And then when it goes straight on like this, I guess it lets your eyes focus a bit more on the form here. Kind of keeps some other interesting parallels going on, I guess, too. So I'm liking the way it's going this way instead, so I'm going to keep going there. Imagination form has a cat, and the cat doesn't give a poop. That's how cats are. Cats, apparently some cats will eat you if you pass away in the house. That's the rumor I've heard. Cats are like, oh, dead owner, nom nom nom. It's kind of horrible. Do I have an Equichet model that you use for any anatomy reference? You can choose to not answer if you have man posters up on your No, I don't have an Equichet model nor any human anatomy posters. I have a great book called Anatomy for Artists. I don't have it right here with me. A lot of that's just stored up here after a while. But there's also, you know, things I'll forget too, and how to accentuate certain muscles or how they all flow. So I'll reference stuff, you know, and when I get back to the nitty-gritty detail part here, I'll go back and definitely refresh my memory on areas that I'm sure I'm forgetting a little bit on. So, but in due time, I'm trying to think now if I can keep more of this the arm that's already intact, if I can keep that, keep more of that. I don't know, because it was good work already. Hello, pick it. There we go. But I don't want to spend too much time on this because I know the arm is not that thrilling. We want to get back to a pose. I need to pay attention to Psyche too. Get her pose, get their arms kind of like interlocked. Scraggy dog. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. How to activate ghost mode. Oh, ghost mode's right here. So it's like, you know, right here on this lower section here, if you can see on the screen right there, right next to that helmet on the screen. It's transparent mode right there. So you just do that, click that, and there you go. You've got transparency between ghost mode between different models, so you can kind of intersect things and have them kind of match up. Yeah, so looking at this, this is correct overall. But I think this other arm, it's still going to have to be a little bit of an adjustment here. So I might actually relax this a little bit more. As far as its extension, I mean, it's a little bent, so I'm going to just curve it back a little bit more. Sorry, serious questions mixed with sarcasm. It's all good, dude. I can handle it. This episode's ghost mode under transparent. Yeah, Jiggy Watts got it. Active transparency or something. Gorgeous model, love it. Thank you. Yeah, you guys have taken care of each other in the chat. It's great. All right, so I'm just going to blur this here a little bit. That's just holding control and tapping in the mask. It rapidly helps you create a blur of the mask to ease transitions and give it a little bit more natural flow. And it's very little. It's very little that I'm going to have to do here, I think, and then it's going to be just a matter of judicially removing parts and smoothing out other sections. Yeah, I think this is flowing in a pretty good way now. Might actually need to raise it up a little bit more to kind of get that bicep to fit into the right place. Yeah, because it intersects with the deltoids right there. So yeah, I think that's going to be about right. There we go. All right. All right, I think that's going to work. See what else we got. Gorgeous model, thank you. Oh, cool, thanks. Dinner time, see ya. All right, man, take care. Have a good dinner. Do you have a video on demand of when you modeled the hair? I do not. That's a good question. Excuse me. I know that Ultimaker did record, or Wacom did record my session when I did this for their class, like 2 years ago. So I got to check in with them and see if I can get a hold of that recording. I could pass that along because I think they did record it. I'm pretty sure. So I gotta check it with them. But that's a good question because I can show you how to sculpt the hair though. I can do a little something for you quick. Sid Rock asks, what were you studying in the medical field? I was studying to be a doctor, I guess. I mean, I was pre-med. I thought I wanted to be a medical emergency room physician, but obviously that didn't happen. In large part because of art. I just was happier doing art, and it took me a while to really realize that I felt guilty leaving art initially. And so, leaving medicine, brain fart, leaving medicine for art. I felt like I was just doing something selfish rather than something altruistic and more, to the benefit of others. Not naively not realizing that art was something that so strongly influenced me as a child too. That, of course, you can be positively influenced by art and make a positive impact that way. You just have to be intentional about it. And I think it took me a while to kind of just realize that as a 20-year-old. So yeah, that was really my realization. So dropped out of college my junior year, gave up on the MCATs, and my parents were like, "We hope you know what you're doing." And I was like, "Me too." Took a while, kind of floundered around and did a bunch of different jobs. I mean, I worked waitering, landscaping, all these other things just to pay the bills, just so I could get back to my art and kind of hone in and figure out what I really wanted to do in art specifically. And that eventually led me to ZBrush and 3D modeling in general. I've always loved movies and games and whatnot. That's always been a huge passion for me. Just love great storytelling. But it took a while before I thought I really could make a living doing that, working in the creative industries, and finding my way, networking, shaking the right hands, kissing the right babies, as the phrase goes. Yeah, man, it was a combination of things, though. So, but yeah, I was just studying basic biology pre-med, focused in emergency medicine. Worked 2 years in an ER as an advanced tech. So did everything except administer meds. Phlebotomy, casting, splinting, trauma assistance. So right there, like doing CPR on people while doctors were intubating and whatnot. Yeah, saw it all, really, and almost did it all. But observed a bunch of surgeries. I'd go into the OR and see how patients would have their knees replaced or ankles reconstructed, all kinds of different stuff. It was crazy. I mean, it was awesome, but as from a morbid curiosity standpoint, I mean, it was fascinating. But I just realized that it was not for me. Not that I was grossed out by anything or couldn't handle it. It's just more the emotional toll, just watching people suffer so much consistently, and the stress wasn't really appealing. So I decided, nah, I don't want that for the rest of my life. Anyway, where are we going here? I'm sorry, I'm missing some stuff. Live with a doctor. He's amazed at ZBrush. That's cool. I'd love to see the hair. I'm getting ready to do that for the first time. Okay. Start career knowing everything you needed to, or was it just getting better by the time? Did you started your career knowing everything you needed to, or you just was getting better by the time? Brian, I'm not sure exactly what your question is. You might have to retype that. I mean, I guess you're asking, did I start knowing everything I needed to, or get better? I mean, of course you always get better over time. I mean, that's a natural thing. If you're practicing like a musical instrument or anything, the more you practice, the better you get. Of course, I didn't start off knowing everything. I mean, I knew ZBrush pretty well by a certain point, and then I got to know Maya even more so after that. I would say that ZBrush was like my gateway drug into 3D. That's what I always kind of jokingly, facetiously say, because ZBrush was way more attractive to me than Maya, like leaps and bounds more. Maya just seemed so menu heavy and just vertex focused, and it just didn't seem as naturalistic as ZBrush does, where I understand clay. I know I had sculpted many times before as a kid, and a bit as an adult when I was in college, but not a ton. So my brain just accepted and related more to like something like clay versus Maya, where it just seems so much more focused on what the mesh was. And that's all I really saw from it. I didn't see a sculptural aspect to Maya. And I would say, you can do some sculpting in there just like you can in Blender, but I still think that there's night and day difference between those programs and ZBrush, and they do different things. They're just not the same. So anyway, ZBrush was my gateway drug into learning the rest of 3D. Let's see what else we got here. Most people want to be a doctor for the money. Anyway, for your love. Thanks, man. Yeah, I think a lot of people want to be a doctor for prestige. I've met a lot of younger guys who want to become a doctor, and I'm like, why do you want to be a doctor? And they say, well, prestige, respect, and the money. I'm like, none of that's... They didn't say, I want to help people. They didn't say, I want to make the world a better place. It's pretty kind of gross answer, in my opinion. And it's. I mean, yeah, you'll get those things as a doctor, typically. I mean, for sure. But if that's your motivation for going into medicine, you're going to be one of those douchey doctors. Believe me, I've met a lot of them too. It's like, I don't care what comes before or after your name, whether it's a PhD or doctor, whatever. If you treat people like dirt, I have no respect for you, or I have no regard for you, really. It's all about how you treat a human being, how you treat others. has little to do with your title and whether or not I like you or respect you. It's about how you treat people and your character, right? How you conduct yourself. Color, gender, race, all that. I mean, background doesn't matter. It's how do you treat people. Character is what matters. Oh, what else? Has anyone said you look like magician David Blaine? No, I've never heard that I look like David Blaine. I don't really think I do, but hey. Hilarious. Did you study art at school at all, or just dived into ZBrush and went from there? No, I did study art my last year and a half. I double majored. But I'd always drawn since I was a kid. And then I always observed good artists, and I was, try to learn their techniques or at least understand what they did. That's where that all came from. All right, so we're looking good here now. I think I'm happy with that. We're not going to Dynamesh just yet, though. I'm going to line this up again, then we're going to move on to another area here. Whoa! Oops. Just inflated. Let me switch back to the other gizmo. Bloop. Sorry, I know I got a couple of the questions in there. I'll get to you guys in a sec. Alright. Alright, looking good, looking better. Happy with that. Ah, a little funky here, sorry. Tablet's a little wonky. Alright, I'm gonna give him some kind of undies like he had before. I'm gonna blend that head in with the neck, and then definitely work on the face a little bit here, because his expression shouldn't be just after a fresh kiss, which is what this is. I'm gonna rework the expression a bit for sure. Be a little bit more determined, perhaps. But again, it also depends on the angle, because if you look at it in a certain way, he looks pissed and like assertive, and then you look another way and it looks kind of like he's curious. So I'm gonna have to rework that a little bit. We'll see how that turns out. But for now, I think I might actually start working on Psyche here. Try to get her form to be more like she's being lifted up from the ground, which in this case the easiest thing to do that would be to move several objects at once. So do this and drag her down, because she's going to be lifting up. Yeah, I think that's about the right height. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good height. That'll be cool. It's fun. It's interesting when you see a piece in your mind and then you start to actually realize it. There's definitely like this certain fun, rewarding feeling to it. Like, damn, this is gonna be cool. Like, this is fun. You definitely go through these moments. I think we all go through the valley of the suck, right? We all go through these moments where it's just like, ugh, this isn't looking good. I'm not happy with it. But you learn to like accept that and just know that it's going to get better, and you kind of almost don't have those negative thoughts anymore, and you see your end goal and you just work hard toward that. And at this point, I've kind of gotten to that area in my brain where I know it's going to be a little bumpy here and there, but I'm excited for where it's going to go. So her figure, she's definitely going to be up a ways more. So let's take the jump. And she's going to be losing her hair and her covering and whatnot for a bit. So avert your virgin eyes. Let's see here. Oh, wrong one. Don't want to do move. There we go. So I might even have to drop her lower still, I think. Ah. Bloop. Alright. Her arm's going to be extended more, and her legs will be... Well, I'm kind of caught in the middle. I think maybe bring her down a little bit still. Oops. Turn that off. Undo that. Her. And actually maybe bring this forward a little bit more than I thought. Maybe move her over a little bit. Anyway, questions. Sorry, one sec here. I'm gonna have to resculpt all those coverings. Sorry, I'm missing a bunch of questions here. Let me get back over to the chat for a second. Model with many polygroups is subdivided, correct? The model with many polygroups. Yes. So I guess if you're talking about, I'm sure. Wait. Which one? Are you talking about the bow? Are you talking about him? Or are you talking about which one? I guess him. He has many polygroups, yeah. Okay, so the model, the arm, is dynamesh model. Yeah, exactly. Combo German, you're right. Yep. I guess med school would have helped with anatomy. Yeah, for sure. Has to do a bunch of CPR on people that have drowned and nearly drowned. Wow. So it's scary. It's full on, it is. You put a lot of heart and energy into that, for sure. Hence the medical studies, no need for écorché. Yeah, the medical studies definitely helps your anatomy knowledge, for sure. That's the big crossover for me between medicine and art. Sorry, not very good at English here, but the question was exactly what you thought. Okay, cool. Are you only ZBrush sculptor, or do Maya stuff for your work too? I'm learning ZBrush at the moment. Yeah, I do Maya stuff as well. Yeah, I have to know Maya now at this point. It's a production tool for sure. I spend most of my time in ZBrush, but I mean, I'm learning more and more in Maya. I mean, meaning that I obviously know UV and, editing topology. That simple. I mean, that's not too hard to learn. But more so, it's learning rigging. That's a big challenge. But I want to learn it for my own stuff. So as I always say, I like to carrot myself when learning new software. So the horse and the carrot idea. You have a stick with a carrot dangling at the end, and that encourages me to. So the carrot in this case would be my short film, and wanting to be able to have complete autonomy and control over certain aspects of it. So learning rigging is kind of important. So that's where I'm kind of expanding my knowledge in Maya, and also I think it'll just keep me more employable. Like the more skills you have in the same field, the more hireable, employable you are, and just keeps the money rolling in as far as stability, because this industry can just be really up and down with different gigs. So the more assets you have to give a company, the more the longer you can stay employed with said company or others. Let's see what else here. Having problems with inspiration and ideas recently. Just wondering where you get yours from. I don't know, man. I everywhere. I don't know. It's hard to say where one place they come from. I mean, this is classic art, so this is a remake of a classic piece that I loved, and it really moved me. I loved just the story it told, the visuals, and then I thought my brain immediately conceived of where would this go after this? Like, what would this story? If this was a movie, where would it go? What would it be like? And I just thought it was such an awesome idea. Just the concept was really exciting. I don't know, man. I mean, it depends. My ideas come from different areas, but I usually have certain loves, right? I love animals. I love dinosaurs. I love dogs. I I love films like The Matrix, Interstellar, Jurassic Park. Those are my big ones. Back to the Future, Indiana Jones. So I guess those kind of areas just, I guess, feed into my mixture of interests. But I mean, I love nature a lot, so I guess that's why I love animals more than humans when it comes to modeling. But if the human characters are intriguing and interesting like this, then I'll commit to it and I'll be happy to work on it. I mean, I'm always happy to work on whatever, but what I'm most excited about is usually creatures, unless it's some really interesting human characters. I mean, so if you're having problems with inspiration, man, I think you gotta find something. I mean, I don't know how else to say other than find something that inspires you. Find something that really gets you excited, that makes you say, "Wow, this is beautiful," or "This is exciting," meaning that it takes your imagination somewhere, right? You have to look for something, find interests that really pull you in there. Worlds that you want to live in, essentially, or that you want to observe, that you want to see a movie made out of, something like that. Books, I mean, anywhere. Music. I find a lot of inspiration in music too. I'll conceive of certain sequences or storyboard elements like syncopated to music sometimes. Like every certain major beat and change in the music is actually a shift in the scene, or it defines a certain element in the scene, and I see it really clearly in my head from that. So certain soundtracks or just orchestral pieces, they're not actually, a lot of them aren't. A lot of music that inspires me is not actually from a movie soundtrack or a game soundtrack. It's just music that was composed sometimes for trailers, sometimes just for the sheer beauty of just the music itself. But I'll often listen to music, and the music will often inspire me a lot to conceive of different stories or different pictures in my head, and that's where a lot of inspiration for me comes from as well. So anyway, yeah, inspiration is a big thing, though. That's like, you have to have inspiration, otherwise, it's almost impossible to keep going with something. Dougie, you're using a Cintiq or Wacom tablet? I'm using a Cintiq. Yeah, after you go to Cintiqs, it's hard to go back to the Intuos tablets. I can use the Intuos tablets at work, but when I have to, but I prefer using a Cintiq always. I think if you go into any career focusing on anything other than love for the fundamentals of the work, you're probably fooling yourself. Probably looking for a lot of disappointment and early burnout too. Yeah, 100% right, Sam Reeves. Totally, I completely agree. I know it's cheesy, and some people say like, "Oh, don't follow your passion," and blah blah blah. But I think you have to be passionate about what you're doing. You have to be interested in it in some way. You have to have a reason to come back to it every day. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable. I mean, that's just the plain and simple of it. I don't care who you are and what you do. If you're doing it just for money, eventually it's gonna wear you out, unless the money is that good that you can take a lot of time off to do something else you want to do, right? But I think there is a lot to be said for loving what you do and feeling that there's some purpose in it. More than even love, purpose, I think, is a huge factor in being a good professional and being fulfilled more than anything. I mean, we're talking really about fulfillment here. Purpose breeds fulfillment. You have to look at it that way. To find joy in life, right, in what you're working on. That's huge. All right, so we're getting some cool stuff here. We're going to be working on her arm. And I don't know if the sensors will care or anybody, but just for the sake of it, we'll work like this for now. So just to keep people focused in the right areas and to be as respectful as I can of the female figure. I'm sure some people don't care, and I've seen so many bodies, it's ridiculous. But just to keep the sensitive eyes protected for now. Anyway, what else we got here? Sorry, there's a ton of questions in here. I apologize for not keeping up too fast. Let's see what else. Is your workflow appending new subtools and creating the parts of the body and then dynameshing when finished? No, a dumb 13.524. No, it's not typically how I work, but in this case, this is how I'm working right now, only because this is a previous model I made, and I'm adapting it to a whole new pose and taking bits and pieces that I did like from the first model and bringing it into here. But this is a wholly different process than how I normally work. I see you don't have chat rules. Okay. Nice, nice. Congratulations, you received 100 messages. I'm a troll is gone. What else? SF writer Harlan Ellison once said, "If anything I say can discourage you from being a writer, then do something else." Yeah, I think that applies to everything. Yeah, very good point, Sam Reeves. Totally. Floating once he's printed. How Cupid be floating once he's printed? That's a good question. It's a small connection between just the hands, and how about instead of lifting her, he accidentally dropping her? Isn't it interesting how 3D has brought artists a whole new concern? It might be printed. Yeah. Maybe not concerned, but something at least think about. So yeah, in question about how this is going to be work, I already thought of this ahead of time, and yeah, the arms are too weak of a connection. So I haven't put it in here yet, but there will be like billowing clouds, kind of like inspired by my Mufasa sculpt that I haven't finished yet, which I need to get back to. But I'm thinking I'm going to have billowing clouds of like smoke or dust or air, just sort of a way to connect the wings to the ground, and also give some dynamism. So they'll be curling like a push down and then curling out clouds, kind of like dust clouds. So that'll be the essential like tree kind of growth base for this whole thing to connect his wings to the background, which will be, back here in these areas, kind of in these areas here will be where the smoke is gonna kind of be pushing and billowing away. And I'll try to make it look really aesthetically pleasing, so it'll flow into everything. It won't look like I'm just using it just to hold him up, but that is what it's there for. What else here? What else we got? I think I broke the guy's ribs when I was doing compressions. Yeah, that's scary. That happens. Can you explain technique for the hair? I will. I will get to that shortly. I forget even. It's been a while since I've done that, so I'm gonna have to kind of remember what I did because it's been a while. But yeah, I can definitely explain to you because it's not as hard as you might think. It's really not. Nature is the best inspiration. Look at macro photos of insects. Totally. Yep. The ocean too. I love the ocean, man. The sea is incredible. Combo, no problem. All things you listed of your interests. If you create a flow, life is so nicely filled with variety, isn't it? Yeah, totally, Dougie. I mean, yeah, I find it hard not to be inspired. I have a back catalog of stuff I want to do. Like I don't really find myself ever bored or wondering like what am I going to do next. Like I always have something in the back of my brain, like a list of things I got to get to. So if anything, I'm more frustrated that I can't work faster or that I just can't get all these different things done because I really think big and like grand and complex. So it's never simple usually. Very rarely is it a very simple project I have in my back of my head. Look at photos of ancient tribal cultures is cool too. Australia, I also think you should be doing rather than what you love. Inspiration killer. Have I tried the iPad Pro? No, I haven't. I have friends who like it, but until there's a ZBrush, I know there's like Forged or something. There's like a ZBrush like sculpting package on iPad. I think they should work hard on making competition for that because I think ZBrush on an iPad would kill it. I think it'd be huge. So Sam Reeves said he went to Computers for Money. It came I was so miserable I began to have health problems. Jeez, yeah, that's not good. I ask why the character modeling industry doesn't accept other guys than just people that study that. I tried hard to get a job as a character designer, but no change at all. Start to do hard surface now. Okay, cool. Thank you. Explaining how the clouds will help support the characters. Great. I work at Great Barrier Reef. Thus, why having to deal with people drowning? Oh wow, you work at the Great Barrier Reef. That's awesome. Wow, dude. I would love that job because I would think to swim around that area would be incredible. Make sure your poster looks really cool. Thanks. Yeah, it's a poster that I wired up the LEDs in the background. Yeah, one of like 300 ever made. I love that poster. I love the Matrix. Dude, Sid Rock, that's crazy. I'd like to pick your brain just to see what. I mean, Sid Rock, question for you: have you seen a lot of dolphins or ocean life? Sea life kind of swimming around there. I'm assuming that there's still a lot of that kind of sea life there, right? I'm a huge dolphin fan, obviously, but I love nature, and I think the ocean is incredible. Look up Green Island. My granddad has a crocodile called Jesus. 18 foot. Wow. Whales, sharks, turtles. Wow. Oh man, that's awesome. See, that's just that would be heaven for me to visit that. I mean, just to see all that. It's just I can't wait to. I want to go to Hawaii really bad. I really want to go see some of the natural world in the ocean like that. Just snorkel. I haven't been PADI certified, so I want to learn eventually scuba. But I think the quickest thing, of course, would be snorkeling and just do that. While we still have everything that's alive in there, you know. I'm a big fan of trying to do your part for nature whenever you can, help them out. Oh, I forgot this is triangulated too, isn't it? Crap. Yeah, it is. All right. Well, we'll have fun with duplicating and dynameshing and rezi-meshing this thing. All right. I forgot I had this all triangulated. Dang it. Should have gone back and found the one that was quadded. Ah. Oh well, maybe I'll focus more on Cupid today, and then find the quadded version of her to match up, so that it's not as much of a chore to fix all the triangulated bits that'll be forming out of this. We'll see how bad it gets. Dolphins are dangerous. There's one of the few psychic species that can kill xenomorphs. That's Echo right there, man. Yeah. That's hilarious. Love it. Yeah, that's Echo, man. Biggest captive crocs in the world. Can see pics on Google. Wow. I'd like to go down to Australia and New Zealand, but it's too close to the bottom of the edge of the flat planet. Nice, the flat planet. Hilarious. The ocean is amazing. The underwater world heavily influenced Avatar. The forest looked just like the reef. Yeah, I can imagine, man. Yeah, I'll have to look up your dad's or your granddad's crocodile. That's crazy. The heck. Cassius. Okay, so you said Cassius. That's his name. Let me see if I can just do that. Is that a quick search? Oh man, 110th birthday? Is it just I just saw the headline. Holy crap. Good lord, this thing is huge. Oh my god, it's like a dinosaur. That is terrifying. It is so big. Good lord. Wow. Dude. Wow. I'm just scared for your grandfather. Like, what's the what are the odds of that thing kind of trying to go for him? I mean, did he raise the croc since it was a little pup, since it was born, or what's the deal? It's his pet, a living dinosaur for sure. Yeah, that's whew. The thing is unbelievable, guys. Look up Cassius the croc. Wow. Let's see. Mykeses. Did you do a Gnomon video? I did, yes, on 3D printing, mastering 3D printing for the 3D artist. I have to update it soon because things are a little different now with the Form 3, but not tremendously. So it's just small updates here and there, I think. He caught it in the 80s. Wow. They're friends, but he says, yeah, Cassie will still eat them. Yeah, I think so. I would think so, sadly. Use Sculptress Pro since it's triangulated to smooth things back out. I guess that could be an option. We'll see. I actually don't use Sculptress Pro much at all, but I might experiment with that after the stream and see what I can figure out. Mykeses with the dolphin. Yeah, that's right. That was me. Yep, with the dolphin model. That was my course. on Gnomon, and I will be updating it eventually. Alright, and yep, there we go. The other thing is, I don't know if I have... I mean, I'll still probably go back to the quadded model for this because that would just be easier on her. So I might redo this before the next stream and then just start back up around the same place. I'm only thinking that, though, that this might not be too bad, only because the movements and the adjustments I'm making to the body won't be too extreme from the poses they're in, or that she was in before. So we'll see. We'll also see how far this has to go before it either breaks and it's too much headache to have to retopologize versus just going back to the quadded model and making some of these same adjustments quickly. Gotta blur that a little bit more, and I should probably put the hinge where it should be. Yeah, there we go. The human form is it's so beautiful. I think it's, as much as I like to do animals more than people, I'm always impressed by the human form. I think it's always such a, when people work out and they have these incredible fit looking figures, it's always impressive. It's always beautiful to appreciate. When the human form is epitomized, it's always incredible. So I'm curious, just random curiosity. Is anybody listening to music or watching a movie or something else while they're watching this too? Or I'm always jamming out to music. I'm always listening to something. I guess what's categorized now as EDM. I like electronic music a lot. I also love orchestral stuff, so I go to those two different genres mostly. Right now I'm listening to some Planet Perfecto by Paul Oakenfold. What else do we got here? Mike Kesey's just found the crocodile. Will I print this hollow in the Form 3? Yeah, mostly hollow. I think the base might be a little bit thicker for sure to add some weight. But yeah, I'm gonna print them hollow in the Form 3. I'm unwrapping my 3D model for a D&D disguise kit. Nice. Mr. Hinks is working. Mr. Hinks, welcome, sir. You're working on a Saturday. Jeez. Gotta get that stuff up in space. Mr. Hanks, we need to catch up, dude. We need to grab a drink, share some food or something. Obviously in one of our two abodes, since everything's closed. LOL. My did is watching Pup Academy in the background. My did? I guess you're my dad? Is that what you mean? Pup Academy? What is Pup Academy? Listening to Mozart and doodling on a project in ZBrush. Nice. I love Mozart. Mozart's great. I like Vivaldi a lot too. I like the energy Vivaldi has in his seasonal music. The Four Seasons. And Chopin's great. Bach is great. So many good classical musicians. Oh, Kiddo. Okay. Pup Academy. What is Pup Academy? Is that like a Pound Puppies kind of thing? Sort of like that. For those who don't know, I'm old. I was born in the early 80s. So I remember Pound Puppies and My Little Pony. Sister watched My Little Pony all the time, and I like glowworms. It's like Smurfs, all that stuff. I was terrified by the Gremlins. If you guys saw Paul Gabriel's stream earlier, he was doing a Gremlin, and I freaking loved that movie. But I was terrified of it as a kid. Gremlins, man, that was, whew. The Gremlins really scared me as a kid. I was so young too. I think they came out like when I was like 3 or 4 or something. So I was terrified of the Gremlins, and I loved Gizmo. So I was a big nerd from the beginning, I guess. This wrist looks terrible. It's like deformed. Yeesh. I'm gonna have to rework this a little bit here. Let's solo this out for a sec. Yeah. What am I doing here? It's almost like, yeah, that's what kind of needs to happen here. But yeah, this is weird, man. What happened here? Oof. Do not switch. It's a weird looking wrist. Kids showing Netflix. Oh, okay. Live action puppies talking. Hello, I'm more of a 2D guy, but really love watching 3D work. How good are home 3D printers if one would like to print their own models? Something that's growing among 3D artists to sell figures, for instance. I mean, yes and no. Selling 3D prints is always something that's out there. It's not like there's not a tremendous demand for it. I think certain characters, depends on the pricing. I mean, yeah, there's some demand. I guess there's some market for it for sure. But I think more of your market's going to be found in printing or prepping models for companies and whatnot, prototypes and that kind of stuff. So I found more of my income in that department has come from in the past. Just trying to fix this blobby arm here. Want some muscle definition, but not too much. Sorry, what else is going on here? Loved Smurf, yeah, He-Man. I never got into the whole He-Man thing. I don't know why. I never got into the like roided out guys, just like I love feeling that. Like I love playing games that make you feel like a beast, like the new Doom Eternal is awesome. But I never got into the whole like wrestlers or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, or just I don't know. Certain things just never connected with me as a kid. I preferred anthropomorphized animals. Transformers was fun though. I remember the original Transformers cartoon. I loved that as a little kid. Whatever happened to Looney Tunes? Yeah, right. Looney Tunes was the bomb, man. I love Looney Tunes. Too controversial. Yeah. Tom and Jerry. I love Tom and Jerry. It's been amazing to watch the advancements of graphic technology growing up. Totally. Dude, I still remember playing my Sega Genesis. I was just streaming with a buddy of mine on YouTube. We were just playing Streets of Rage 4. It just came out. So good. So much fun. We played the first two, or the previous two together. He wasn't digging the third one that much, but he seemed to enjoy the second one. And we had a good time with run number 4. So, dude, the 90s, man, were a golden era for entertainment, I've got to say. They truly were awesome. What else? Thunder the Barbarian, Looney Tunes were the best. Still going around. Imitating Elmer Fudd or Foghorn Leghorn, yeah. I say, son. Wasn't done with Mozart. I cleanse my headphones with a loud dose of okay, yeah, and then Black Sabbath, yeah, yeah, yeah. Bring me back to reality smoothly. Home res and printers, which print pretty high res. Most will not sell prints, though they will get a master 3D print cast from that. Yeah. Is my Matrix poster moving, or am I on something good stuff? I don't know. No, your Matrix poster has got LEDs behind it. Yeah, I arranged them all so that they would rain down like the code. So it's a lenticular, so it's reflective. I don't know if I hit this light here quick. You can kind of see it. It's like a foil. It's kind of got like that foil covering. So it's reflective like that, but then also it has LEDs behind it. Like the Matrix background too. Can't wait for Matrix 4. Yeah, I'm curious about 4 too. I'm really cautiously optimistic. I'm very nervous about that one. It's already filming, actually. They already started filming in San Francisco. There's a whole bunch. If you look up video, just Google video. There's a Instagram actually that's covering pretty well the. I think it's called something about Keanu Reeves. Just Google Keanu Reeves on Instagram. You'll find a Keanu Reeves fan club or something. They have tons of videos that they aggregate from all these different people from all over San Francisco that were filming their live like stunts, like people running off buildings on harnesses and then jumping off and then like flying up. So it's like they're retraining Neo or someone like Neo to fly again. I don't know. Pretty cool stuff. So look it up. So yeah, they've already done some filming, but I think they had to pause because of the whole Corona nonsense. And anyway, so yeah. All right, there we go in here. Still got to go up further, I think. It's a bit more straightened out. And this probably that'll bring up some of her, because I'm thinking if you're getting pulled up, that's gonna same thing as like what his arm is doing essentially. Is she's mirroring that, so her whole this whole area has to go up further. Ugh. Yeah, I might have to do the quadded version of this. We'll see. Grow this a little bit more. Ah, what the heck? Why is it doing that? No, don't tell me something went weird. Alright, let's see here if we... It's just a weird stray polygons. It's always annoying when that happens. Smooth this out. Hello. It's getting laggy for some reason. I'll do a quick save, just in case. And what else we got going in the chat? Arms are so expressive. Did you model from Z Tools or off base? I had a base mesh to start with. Thanks. Yeah. Nick Z has some great human models that I used as the basis for this. So gets you off and running really quick. In your current play, of course. Gummy bears, yeah. I remember that. Gummy bears. Tailspin. Oh my god, I love Tailspin. That was my jam. That was my cartoon as a kid. I love Tailspin. Are you able to talk at all about the main difference in features between male and female forms, faces, or is it a whole can of worms to discuss? Dude, the Matrix poster is genius. Thanks. Maybe Matrix 4 is supposed to be out next year. It was supposed to be out next year, but now I think they're pushing it to 2022. Same with John Wick 4, I think. Pixelogic. Middle Eastern. No, I'm not Middle Eastern. I'm Spanish. My last name is De León, of lion in Spanish. Hence my site is lion-arts.com. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is not my regular crowd. So if you guys want to follow me or check out some of my work, please hit up my site and my Instagram. So on IG, I'm at Daniel Lion Arts. And yeah, you can follow me on there. I have a Twitter, but I just basically tweet the same stuff I do on IG, and I really don't use it much. So, in Facebook, I'm on Facebook if you search me too. What else? What else? What else? What else? I would do a whole room like that. That's hilarious. Saad, Hamed. Hello, how you doing? Dougie, warning, save now, yeah. Nick Z, yep. Darkwing Duck, yep. Darkwing Duck, yeah. Nick Z is the base mesh model, yep. Nick Zuccarello. He's a badass artist too. He's great. He's fantastic. Make sure before John Wick we're supposed to premiere on the same day for sure. Drink water now. Yeah, I should. You know, you have to move limbs independently. How do you move limbs independently? I just mask and then I start moving them. Oh, Bobby Chu. Bobby Chu's great. Yeah, Bobby Chu's amazing. I love his stuff. His character work is beautiful. I love his work. Just jumped in. I have seen portions of the previous streams. Could you show the entire figure for a moment? Sure, I can show the entire figure for a moment. Sorry, let me back up here. Sorry, guys, for the pause with the chat. So things are being reposed right now. So she's out of covering and whatnot. But lighten things up here. But there you go. Da Funkazan. So epic. Thanks, man. I'm trying to be epic here. I'm trying to get something that's dramatic and really grand. So is my goal. That's where my brain goes. Just grandiose, epic scale adventures. So let's see here. Bloop. Isolate her again. Trying to get a bit more of this shoulder. So I think we need a bit more like that. Doop. Yeah. Smooth. Do a little high polish there. So yeah, I'm just trying to think here. So your shoulder blade is definitely going to be, everything's going to be rotating up a little bit, and you're going to get that pectoral connecting up here to the deltoid area, inserting underneath, and you're going to have that over top. Yeah. All right. What else is here? Is there one of his designs on your page? Bobby Chu's designs? No. There is a little cute cat. If you're thinking of that cat, Ogo, that's by Chris Sanders. That was actually a gift for him. I gave him one, and he loved it. It's his cat, Ogo. It's this cute little cartoon character. I actually have a sticker of him right here. This guy. So I did a cute version of that for Chris Sanders. That's on my page. If you go on my site, you'll see that. Thanks, man. Thanks for the nice words. Kanzan, I guess I'll call you for short. Dafun Kanzan. Oh no, video game. Wait, what's she talking about? Bobby Chu video game? I'm not sure. Watching sculptures like this would make Michelangelo envious. Probably, yeah. Have I painted any prints? A few for a client here and there, like for prototypes for toys. But I don't typically do a lot of painting only because I live in an apartment currently, and it makes it a little challenging to paint safely. I've done some painting. I've also done some chroming. Luckily, it's like currently I don't have a roommate, so I have an extra room. I might just stay roommateless and just up the ante and just turn it into an office and then spray paint in there and open up the windows and whatnot, or go out in the patio and do it. But yeah, I think my living situation right now, it makes it a little bit more challenging to do things with a lot of chemicals and fumes, because for obvious reasons I don't want to gas myself, my dog, or any neighbors. But I think I can work my way around it. I think it'd be better if I just use another room for it, which is what I might do here, depending on how things go, because this whole COVID thing has really put everyone on lockdown. So it's like this guy I was looking at for a new roommate. He's going to be working at Northrop Grumman, actually. He's moving up from San Diego, and he's like, well, relocation package isn't in yet. I don't know about that, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, you know what? I've been surviving this long alone, and maybe I'll just stay without a roommate now and turn it into an office and just get super productive. We'll see. But it's like I got to be making that extra cash then, right? And I got to be basically looking at that room as an office, and that office is like, it's got to be helping that extra income. Because I'll be real, man. It's like life of an artist is not. It's not all sugar and rainbows and cherries. It's it's not easy all the time. That's for sure. If I'm real with you guys, it can be a struggle. It can be a struggle at times for sure. You know, it depends where you're working, and then once you're let go from a certain project after a while, then you got to find another client. You know, you got to find another studio to work at. I have my eye on a new one. Some friends of mine are trying to get me into a new studio. We'll see. See how things go. It could be a good one. Could be one that I could be there for a while. But then there's the other side of things. It's like, you know, working in a studio, you're set to a, you know, you're stuck in a schedule. You're locked in. And I really do love freedom. I like working from home. So we'll see. Maybe I'll just keep upping my ante here and stay working from home and stay more freelance for now. I don't know. Choices. All right. All right. Sorry, what do we got in the stream here? Looking at Trico, piece of art. Did you sculpt all the feathers, things over the whole body, or is it an nanomesh or something? You can always take out a Craigslist ad to share Disney Plus account. Hilarious. Yeah, I find some of my roommates on Craigslist. It can be a crapshoot. Who was the base mesh again? The base mesh is Nick Zuccarello. His meshes come with ZBrush. Actually, one of them or two of them do. So if you go into your light box and then you go to, I think, is it project or tool? I think it's tool. So I've loaded in some extra ones of his in here, but in general you'll see, I think it's this one here. It says Nick Z Human Male Average. That's one of his. But I bought some of his other a little bit more advanced detail ones that have layers, so you can like up the muscularity. You can get them skinnier. So I think if you just Google his like Nick Z, yeah, exactly, Nick Z. You Google his name and then human anatomy or human base mesh, you'll find his stuff. But yeah, he's great. I love his work. He definitely gave us some great stuff to work with. Sorry, was I? So the Trico question, yeah. So Sid Rock, yeah, Trico was like a on and off 2-year project. It was insanely challenging for me. Yeah, the feather thing, I had to work with Solomon Blair actually from Pixelogic. We worked together to figure that out. That whole system for getting feathers arrayed, but then also having like a alignment so that they would have a polarity essentially, so they would all face in the same direction, but then not do this and not like, you know, not interpenetrate where you're having feathers doing that. So because like here's a real feather, for example, and you know, feathers always lay on top of each other. I'm trying to think how to arrange it to the camera, right? They're not typically doing this where they're like poking through one another or whatever. You know, they always have to be flat against each other. So that was a challenge because obviously in a 3D package you don't have any way to dictate that necessarily unless you do like N cloth, I think, in Maya. But that seemed so involved and I just didn't want to learn it at the time, so I just figured out a way with Solomon that we figured out a way to have them align. So you create a checkerboard in ZBrush, and then you have them all aligned to the same polarity. You have all their faces, sort of all the apparently there's like a north, south, east, west to every polygon. So you want to have them all aligned to the same polarity, and then all the feathers were at least aligned to the same direction, and then you can independently control how they move. And then I had to go and hand touch every single feather, almost every single one, so that they wouldn't be intersecting each other, or you know, a bunch of other problems, or facing the wrong direction, or having like too many in one area clustered. So there was a lot of hand touching for those feathers on Trico. It took forever. It was a beast of a project. And that's a prototype. I'm going to make a final version here shortly and send that out to Takeshi Furukawa and Fumito Ueda and Derek Spino, who are the composer, creator, and sound designer, respectively. And that's ginger ale. That's not alcohol, just so you know. Nixie, and let's see. Did you find it? Yeah, there you go. There he goes. Dougie, thank you for that link. Why do we have a real feather just laying around? For reference, man. Why not? I'm an artist. I have like all kinds of random bits and bobs and all kinds of stuff here. Yeah, inspiration. It's you know, good reference. Yeah, we have birds flying all over the place here, so it's every now and then I'll find a feather randomly and think, that could be useful, or that's cool. I think you'll find a lot of artists have lots of random stuff in their places of work, in their home. Again, it just helps you stay inspired, you know? Just having different things to look at. You might have your brain in one area, and then you look at something when you're listening to music, and it takes your whole mind to another place, and then you start developing ideas for something else. So it's just natural, symbiotic kind of, you know, organic way of staying inspired or staying interested in different things or being reminded of different things. At least that's how my brain works. It may seem jumbled and random, but it all connects and it all leads down a different path for creative thinking or inspiration or reminders. So I'm just trying to think if she's holding it like this. So elbows, yeah, there's still going to be a little bit more rotation. And then bring this in. And then that'll be carrying up the breast a bit. That's getting kind of wonky. And yeah. Say it again. Whenever it does that, I'm like, don't crash. Please don't crash. Let's go. Okay. You got some weird intersection happening here. You gotta adjust that. Yeah, it's not liking that smoothing so much. I don't know why. It feels a little crushed. A little. Probably actually be more like that. I think. Yeah. I don't want to flatten out stuff too much. And latissimus dorsi. So this whole muscle group down here. And her trapezius back here. I think the shoulder blade would be a little bit more like so. Smooth that out. A little high polish again. And this I'll probably have to reference. I'll have to go back and look at some female bodybuilders to kind of get some of this a little bit more refined. But we're getting there. All right, and Bloop. Sorry, I'm missing the chat here a little bit. What is going on? Just showed up, and then I hear Doug E. Maybe I should go back from whence. What? No, I'm out, Mike. What? Random things around my desk. People already think I'm a serial killer. So I guess Mike and Dougie know each other. How do I move the arm like this? Illusio? I'll show you. It's just masking and then using the move tool. And random things around my desk. Gored, painted. Lord of the Rings, Elvish writing. Bob Ross Funko. Entire shelf of skull models. Smurf, dagger. Short form one, chainmail, weave made from key rings. Yeah, my desk's kind of a mess. Excuse me. I've got to sort it out. I've been slowly getting my spring cleaning on. All right, so I moved it past the point where she connects, but I needed the humerus to kind of be in the right direction first. So that's right. All right, so yep, don't have lasso on. Yep. And we're just gonna blur that, invert it, and get back to posing the arm. So anyone who's wondering, oh, thanks, Elusio. Yeah, this is simply some masking. And then you can hit Y, and you can go between the traditional, or the gizmo, which is this current one right now, the new one. I hit Y, and you go back to the traditional transpose line. So you go over here, and you got up here top, you got your draw, which is regular sculpting, move, scale, and rotate. And so rotation is where we're on. You place your transpose line inside the model like it would be a bone. Since bones are rigid, obviously, you want to create that same rigidity in areas where it would be. So yeah, so just eyeing up here. So for Elizo, thanks for the kind words. This is a remake. I don't know if you were here earlier, but this is a remake, or remixing I should say, of a previous sculpture I made with Wacom and Ultimaker. So this is a remake of Cupid and Psyche. It's a classic piece in the Louvre by Antonio Canova. And it's this really beautiful piece. The story is that Cupid descends into hell, Hades, to save his love, Psyche, who was lied to by Cupid's mother, because I guess somewhat like she was jealous that Psyche loved Cupid. It's all kind of weird and sick, I think, in some ways. But anyway, his mother's love for him or whatever. But so the mother, I forget who the mother, Venus, I think it was, Venus, somehow deployed or sent down a vase, some sort of container that had this container right here. If you see my little cursor, this thing. So in the story, she said that elixir would actually, I think if I'm not mistaken, she said that elixir would cause Cupid to love Psyche more or something. And so anyway, Psyche goes down to get that, and as soon as she opens it, it knocks her out. So she passes out. She's asleep. It's kind of like the original Sleeping in Beauty, like the actual original idea of a kiss reviving someone. So then Cupid learns of what happened, the deceit of his mother, is enraged and goes down into hell to save his love, Psyche. And the kiss of Cupid is what revives her. And so that's what this piece was originally. It's a remake of Canova's piece, which is like more pubescent kind of age, two children kind of with each other. So I figured I'd make it more mature and make it two consenting adults. So here they are, and he's an archer. We know Cupid's an archer, so that's why I designed this bow to have kind of these cool weapons, like these blades on the ends, and then actually, this is getting crazy detailed, but the bow actually has a reservoir here for oil, like an oil lamp essentially, and then you could have a flame on the end here, so you can actually have flaming arrows shooting out of this thing, but still using that really ancient sort of technology. And then he has his like archer's strap here and a little like piece, I forget what they're called, so that you can, a little ring on the thumb, so you can actually pull back the string and let it go without hurting yourself. And then there's his quiver of arrows over here. So yeah, so this was the original piece, you know, very epic and very grand and romantic. And then from there, it's this is the part two, I guess you could say. This is the continuation of the story, is how they'll ascend from hell and what it would look like. And so this is sort of, his wings will be pushing downward. Obviously, I'm going to have all this billowing clouds underneath him to hold his structure up, and he'll be then pulling her up along with him as they get the hell out of here, because there's all kinds of nasties in Hades, I'm assuming. Alright, so I think that's... she's almost a little hyperextended here, I think. Or might just need to tuck in some of that. I think actually that's fine. I just need to push that in a little bit. And then bring her up a little bit more to match where his wrists are. So yeah, she's got to be up a little bit more. Okay, solo out. Whoops, wrong thing. There we go. I'm just using the form brush here. It's kind of like in between the inflate and standard brush, but it keeps the base form of what you're working on. In this case, it's not really that necessary to keep the base form, and more so I'm just trying to build back up some of that muscle volume. But it's getting a little funky because of the triangulation. And so you can see here there's like a weird cluster of polys right here, because that's what was ideal for the previous version. So I'll ZBrush her sooner than later. Or like I said, just go to the quadded version and try to match up this pose. But for now, just stay here with this and keep working it. Because I'm going to have to dig into my files to find the quadded version. I think I might have put it on like another drive because it was a pretty big model. I think it was like many, many gigs. And this is a new computer, so I have slowly been bringing on certain models back into this computer, but leaving a lot on other drives until I need them. What else? Thanks. Glad you like the story. Flaming arrows don't work. The speed of the arrow puts out the fire. I guess so, right? Unless it's like, isn't it like liquid hot though? Wouldn't it stay lit? I don't know. What about all the movies that showed us flaming arrows? They don't work. They're magic. Yeah, exactly. Like David Blaine. Yeah, they're magic arrows. Who cares, man? This is fiction. I thought David Blaine was a ZBrush artist. Comedians up in here. He is many things. What do I think about Sculptress Pro? I really honestly haven't used Sculptress Pro that much. I should experiment with it more because that probably would be applicable here, as others have insinuated. But it's such a new feature, and one that I usually don't use, is because it's not in production much. But it would be good for 3D prints, I imagine. So I need to mess with that more, for sure. I will probably mess with that after I get off the stream, and see how I can better utilize that for this. Greek fire arrows. No, I think if you have something hot enough, no amount of air will put it out. No amount of wind will put it out. If you have something that's gelatinous on the end of it and it's burning, I think you could have a lot of wind blowing on it and it would just keep going, keep burning. Show me your empirical evidence. What are my thoughts on any cubic Photon S printer? I have not looked at it. I've heard the name, but I am not that familiar with the printer. Is it bigger? Is it like a large one? What's the best way to sculpt hair in ZBrush? Oh yeah, so people were asking about that. Sorry. Before they're asking about this, the hair. Best way. There's not one best way for anything. Usually, I mean, sometimes, but let me show you guys. So, because I wanted their hair to have this kind of Greek sculpture-esque kind of look, sort of photoreal, sort of not, you know. So that's his hair, and then hers. Scrolling down. Oops, past it. This is hers. So when you look at closely, I mean, it's I like the way it looked in the end, but I wouldn't say that it's like you know, anything too mind blowing. But I think once you see behind the curtain, you're gonna see it's not that it's nothing too crazy. So to get this technique done, let me bring in a sphere. I'll bring in a sphere and move it next to them, so at least you guys can still see them while I work on the sphere. Let's see here. Polysphere. Back to them. And we'll insert it up here. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Okay. Then we'll do a nice little unify to bring it up to scale. Oh, where is it? Oh, there it is. Below. All right. Move this guy over here. All right. So I guess I could use the other sphere anyway because I'm probably going to just dynamesh this thing. Let's see. So first I'm going to center this guy in that little white circle. And I'm going to make this long. I'm going to imitate her hair, I guess. So we'll do long hair so it's a little bit more elegant, flowing, a little bit more interesting to work with. And now, if you center it, you hold Alt. This is a cool thing I never knew for a long time. If you hold Alt and then you click in the middle white circle here, when you have Move selected, you can do this with your mesh, which is pretty awesome, I think. So you can see how I can kind of have this very natural gelatinous kind of flow to whatever I'm working with. And I can bring it up, I can bring it down, I can bring it to the side. So I'm trying to think for her hair. It's going to be kind of like this, I guess. So yeah. So that's just to give me the basic form, because I think if she's going to be yanked up, the hair is going to be kind of being... Just obviously gravity's holding it down, but I think if her head's moving away, I don't know, whatever. We'll figure it out. Anyway, who cares about the physics of it? So here we got this blob for the hair, and let's see what our count is there. So I'm gonna go up a little bit more and kind of drag this out. And tucking this in a little bit, and then I'm going to save my camera view. I can snap back to this then, even though it's just front. And I'm going to flatten this sucker out. So just trying to get some basic form, something that's at least going to be useful. Alright, so let's say this is the blob of hair, right? So you got your basic structure for where the hair is going to flow, what it's going to look like. Alright. So from here, you can go two ways, but I think, if I remember correctly, because I'm doing this from memory, I haven't done this in a while. Let's see, which which one's right. I think it's a dot. You want dot, and then I used maybe the alpha 60. And then you add, so you want to do addition and not subtraction. Sorry, Comic Legend says the standard resin printer have problems with strands. So remember, you get what you pay for. It's cheap for that reason. Yeah, it's true. Okay, so I think this is correct. Crossing my fingers here. Zoom in here a little bit. Yeah. And then this is basically the technique. I mean, it's pretty simple stuff. Maybe you can repeat the alpha a little bit too. So you go to alpha modify, tile. Is it tile horizontally? Yeah, there we go. So we tile it like twice maybe. Anti-aliasing on. What else? You can do a little bit more intensity. Not much. Enlarge this a bit more. And pull back a little bit. And then, too big. Okay. There we go. So maybe we don't need that repeat. Actually, if we want it to be more noticeable, I'm gonna do that. But yeah, I mean, this is basically the technique, guys. You know, it's really pretty user-friendly, simple stuff. You know, you can also try carving in. So if you just hold Alt, now I'm carving in. I mean, almost it's the same alpha, so it looks the same, just inverted. But if you just want to add some variety, you know, some weird kind of variants, and you can make this alpha yourself, you know, pretty easily, or you can use others similar. But this is really it. You know, it's a very simple technique. You know, another way to do this too. Let me get back. What else do we got here? Just trying to remember if that is what I used though, or if I used something else, because it's been a while. What about? No, that's not it. Yeah, I guess that's what I used. It's been like a good 2-3 years since I've done this. Sorry. Get back to that. Zoom in on her hair. Yeah, I mean, that looks like that's what this basically is. I mean, you get up close to it. I mean, you see it's really not like the most incredibly clean, beautiful, elegant. Everything's not just neatly put. And it was partly because I was in a rush. I had to get this done in like 2-3 days. But then the other part of it was simply that I wanted it to look more like stone. So it didn't have to be like super neat and clean. And I think I did the same thing for his hair as well. It's just tighter. So I just did it much tighter. Yeah. So it's like a lot of things in ZBrush. They're very simple, and you just have to put the time into it and the effort, and just, you know, just gauge where you want things. Make it tighter to make finer strands. Make it chunkier if you want bigger chunks of hair. And then you can even use, like, here's another technique you could do. If you want to do something else cool with hair. Same idea, but like if you wanted to have a bigger sections. Let's see here, it's not the right thing here. So I'm holding Alt. So I'm creating like larger chunks of hair. Let's isolate this for a sec. Right, so I'm creating like much heavier chunks to begin with, and then within this, I shrink my brush down. You know, so then these will be like larger pieces, and then within the larger pieces, you can add a finer strand. So this way, I will do that, doubling up on the alpha. So now that those bigger chunks that I use the same alpha for just added more dimension to the hair flow. So now it has more, if you're looking at it, if you cut it in half, right? If we do this, and we look at it straight on, you see how it has way more ridges and flow and dimension to it. Now, obviously, it's mechanical. It's very mechanically looking, but that gives you a base. If you smooth some of that out and then you inflate it a little bit, play with it, you can get a very organic, completely non-uniform, always changing terrain for the hair, and then do the same technique like I was saying of using the brush. So same alpha, just smaller and much tighter, and you can suddenly get some very interesting forms. Now, again, this is not the ideal for this, so if we wanted to even do like let's do a Dynamesh here. What size is the floor? Okay. Keep this kind of low. Don't need subpixels. Don't need blur. Dynamesh. Oh, yeah. Shoot. Delete lower. Okay. Oh, I already did it. All right, there we go. So now we've got way more topology. Should have done that beforehand. All right, let me back up here. There we go. One more. All right. And Dynamesh. All right. So then the Dynamesh just gives you this, chunky resolution. I mean, non-chunky, very fine resolution. Excuse me. And it's still kind of getting that. It's kind of getting that bumpiness, simply because the resolution's not there. Yeah, that's why. So then I want to divide that. Divide it again. See, that's another way you could do this too. You could do it at a low res, mid-range, I guess, and then subdivide it up, and then that'll let you get some smoother, more stone-like kind of forms, right? So anyway, so there you go. That's I'm pretty sure that's what I did for their hair, if I remember correctly. And just using pressure sensitivity, you can get some really nice streaks in here. And get that finer hair that would connect to the base of the forehead. You can see how, a little smoothing out. You can see how natural that can look, and then you can just work with that. So, there you go. Quick and easy hair. And again, just put some time and effort into it, and you get something really beautiful. Alright, so I think we're about there with her arm position. Just got to raise her up along with the base. Let me get out of this. So there you go, guys. Yeah. We'll see what else. Problem with strands. Well, alpha. Yeah. Happy to help. Comics gets the job done. If you stroke waves a bit for the hair. Is there a non-destructive way to straighten it? If I stroke waves a bit for the hair, is there a non-destructive way to straighten it? So you mean if you have wavy hair, you want to have it straight? I'm not sure there's really a non-destructive way to do that. I mean, maybe if you do it with the, what is that called? If you add a curve to it, I think that might work. If you add a curve in the alpha and put that together, I have to experiment with that. That might work, where you can then edit the curve, and that will edit the geometry, I think. I think that would work too. Peps Lipton, yes, I do use Maya as well, but not in this case. There's no reason for it here. Yeah, morph target, but morph target, you're switching back to something though. See, that's sort of destructive in the sense that if you wanted to keep your hair's deformation and yet edit that, I think that's what Mr. Reeves was asking about. Can I ask something from you in Maya? I mean, sure. I'm not the Maya expert though, so I may not know your answer. Okay, Sam. Yeah. So yeah, Sam Reeves. Try using a curve and assigning an alpha to that, I believe. Because I know you can do that now with like polypaint and whatnot. You can take the curve and move stuff around. So I think you can do that with an alpha now, and that should let you move that deformation all over the mesh. Should work, I think. But yeah, I love seeing things like this when the human form is just elegantly interacting with it. I think these are just the poignant moments where it's just satisfying. Just to look at this alone, I find it to be incredibly fulfilling. Let's see here, what do we got going on? Sure. Let's see here. Timing is that. Let's see here. Why not move large masses like that by going to the lowest sub D? I can. I mean, large masses like what though? You mean by the hand, or what do you mean? This is still Dynamesh. What do you want your legacy to be? So random questions. My legacy. So wait, Adam. I just didn't go lower sub D because I didn't need to. I guess if you're talking about the arm, the hand, it's just no need to go lower. The hand form, yeah, just no need to go lower. I mean, I'm already in the middle. 3 to go to the lowest. Wouldn't make too much of a difference. There's the lowest. This is where I was at. Don't really see much of a point too. Yeah, exactly. I always blur the mask naturally, so Pixelogic, don't know where he found that option. Did you see in the video? Okay. So you're in the 30-some second mark. Is that what you put it? 38 second mark. Let's see here quick. What's this guy doing here? Fundamental corner execution. Oh, he's just using the modeling tool, man. That's like, yeah, let's see here. What is he doing? Okay, so right there, he's holding spacebar to get that. Sorry, I'm just trying to look in here because he's got a tiny menu. So yeah, he's holding spacebar. He's in edge mode, I believe. So yeah, he's going there right at the 38 mark. So he's in edge mode. He's holding it over the edge, right? He's in his modeling toolkit in Maya. Hold spacebar, or no, I think it might be not spacebar. Sorry, that's right click, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not in Maya right now, but yeah, if you hold Alt and then I think if you right-click over the edge, that'll give you a right-click menu, and that's the menu he's getting right there. So then he goes from... Sorry, guys, I know this is not focused to you guys, but yeah, so you hold right-click, then he's going to edge loop... What is it? Edge loop utilities? It's going by so fast. Yeah, edge loop utilities. And then from there, he's going to edge loop and delete. And then that's where he's going into... Okay, I don't know why he switched to that. But anyway, yeah, he's just holding the right spacebar. I mean, right click. I keep saying spacebar because that's how you get a certain radial menu. So anyway, so Peps, that's your... it's the right click, I believe. It's the right click hold menu. That's what it is. Yeah. Classic, basic Maya stuff that it's not really explained to anybody, though. I know it's kind of hidden. So, all right, sorry. Other questions? Is using insert edge loop. Yeah, exactly. You can also use multi-cut. Yep. Shift control and hold control. Yep. Arc cross twos. Got it. Control right click. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yep. Classic Maya. Menus hidden within menus. That's why I never liked Maya when I was younger, and still don't really like Maya. I just use it because I have to. But it's just not very intuitive, right? Those aren't things that you logically see. You have to like know somebody or know something or watch a tutorial and get it all explained to you. It's irritating. What else we got here? Let's try the extractor brush on detailing a piece. I like that brush. Yeah, the extractor brush is crazy cool. I have to use that more because that's a new feature in 2020. Cool, you got it. All right, I'm going to try to wrap this hand around her wrist a little bit, and then I'm going to bounce because we're at time. Unless, I actually got to check the schedule. Shoot, I don't think anyone else is after me, but let me make sure. Let me check here quick. I don't think anyone else is after me. Will I texture this model? Probably not. Do people who do character art all know how to draw 2D like figure drawing? I would hope so. I mean, that's sort of the fundamentals to it's the fundamentals to good character design in general, is knowing how to draw for sure. Oh, my. Where's the schedule at now? I thought we had it listed in here in Slack, but I don't see it. I think I think I was the last one for today too. Yeah, pretty sure. Like 90% sure. But I just where is that? I should have that link handy. I don't though. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Appreciate it. I should bookmark that now. Yeah, we're clear. Okay, cool. All right, so I can go a little bit longer. Just wanted to double check. Thank you so much, Mr. or Miss Vasquez. Okay. Yeah, I'll go for a little bit longer here and just try to get this hand wrapped around the wrist. There are some anatomy mistakes, in my opinion. Oh, for sure, dude. This isn't done by any means. This isn't finished at all. Everything's in block mode right now. I'm just sort of blocking out things and getting things in their place. I'm going to be adjusting all kinds of things here before it's done. This isn't anywhere near done. Who identifies an attack helicopter? Nice. Elbow coffee. Oh yeah, I know now. Yeah, there's a bunch of mistakes. I'm not too concerned about perfect anatomy right now. Am I a pro? Oh wait, you're asking across. Okay. Oh, you guys talking about? You mean this one? Are you referring to the male with the muscles here? The way the muscles should be rotated the other way? Is that what you guys are talking about? Do I stream often? Right now I've been streaming like every other week with Pixelogic, and then I do some stuff on YouTube with a buddy of mine, play some games together. But yeah, I'm probably gonna be streaming more actually. Apparently, some respond well to it, so I'll be. I think I'll be doing more on my own YouTube channel in between the stream with Pixelogic. So yeah, if you want to follow me on YouTube, you can follow my channel as well. Do that. For those who are interested, Peps. My YouTube is the same as my Instagram, so if you'd like to, you can find me here. If you want to follow there, I'd be more than happy to have some more subscribers, as I will be going live more often over there in between sessions here. Let's try to think. Yeah, he'd be okay. Twitch channel's the same thing. Yeah, I'll probably be doing all that. Twitch channel's the same thing. Hey, thanks for the sub. Appreciate it. Yes, correct. Yeah, I will be doing more stuff on my own YouTube channel as well. I've been having a bunch of people telling me I should start streaming more in general. So, what's the shortcut I'm using to select a mask like that? Oh, sorry. What exactly? Sorry, what shortcut for masking do you want to know? So, like, if I just hold Control, then it gives me, the mask option. But that's lasso. So if I hold Control, you click on here. You have other options. Your mask pen, which is the more traditional kind where you just paint it on. Click holding Control, click over here, select mask lasso, and that's what I'm using for that shortcut, so to speak. And then if you want to blur it, you just tap holding Control. You just tap on your mask, and that'll blur the mask. So I'm just trying to think here. Yeah, this will be interesting. All right, and I'm gonna isolate this because I don't have to keep staring at his butt. Take away the wings for now. There we go. And this is a great technique too if you want to quickly mask an area that has nice edge loops. So if you look at this, the edge loop layout, this is very cleanly topologized. So if you want to mask an area and just grow the mask on one extremity or one tiny appendage like this, Joe D, thank you, man. What we're going to use for texturing? Substance Painter and ZBrush and Photoshop, kind of mixture between them all. ZBrush works on Windows Home, Windows Pro, both. Yes. Yes, it does. What other questions were there? Okay, so yeah, Elizo, fingers are not easy stuff. No, they're not. No, the hands are not easy stuff. Hands are challenging. So if you want to do a quick mask like this too, I don't know if you guys know this, but yeah, you just hold Control, you have your transpose line out, and drag down the appendage or section of a model that you want, and it even automatically does a nice little blur at the end. So that lets you mask very quickly and precisely. And then if I want to blur this a little bit more, so get that kind of back up toward the knuckle. Any other questions while we're here? Anything else I can assist with? Please tell me ZBrush works both on Windows or Home Pro. Yeah, it does. What graphics card am I using? ZBrush doesn't use a graphics card. It doesn't use GPU at all. But I have an RTX 2080 Ti. But it's not being used by ZBrush at all. Hey, just joined. Where did you get the base meshes? Are they semi-sculpt yourself or something? Everyone's asking about it. Base meshes are Nick Z's. I think if you scroll up in the chat, I don't know if it's still there. Let me see if I can find that for you. Let's see here. Let me see if this still... Yeah, so this is a base mesh. It's also... One of them comes with... it does come with ZBrush, by the way. But if you Google Nick Z, you can find... I think he still has his models up for sale. They were relatively affordable. Okay, Dougie got it. Thanks, man. Yeah. Can't find my YouTube channel. Uh-oh. Should be pretty easy to find. I think if you just go to youtube.com/DanielLionArts, it should bring it up. Interesting. That's not bringing it up either. What is going on? Oh, duh. Because I did one L. That's why. Derp. There we go. All right. So for those interested, if they'd like to follow along, I shall be streaming more from here. There you go. So, yeah. And thanks, Quez. Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, Attack Helicopter. Since that's how you identify, as you said. Yeah. And then let me see if I can find you guys. Let me find that post by Nick Z that actually, it's not in ZBC, it's actually on his site. See if I can find that for you quick, because you can get these same base meshes as well. Where was it? Yes, because it was his... Yeah, it was a blog post. Whew, back in the day. I mean, I guess Blogspot obviously still exists, but I don't know anybody uses Blogspot anymore. I used to. Long time ago. Okay, so where is... Yeah, okay, so here's his whole store, guys. So I'm giving him a free shout out. He's getting free publicity right here, but this is great. This is awesome. Check out his stuff. Right there, there's his store. That's where I got the base meshes that are more advanced for the human form. He has some other ones in here, I think. Let's see, he's got Male Topology 3.0. He's got the free download in there as well. I don't think that has the layers, though. I'm not sure. Let me see here. 3 years of on and off work. That's the male one. I'm not sure where his female one is, because I got that from his site as well. He's got a bunch of great assets on here, though, guys. Like, for sure, take advantage of all the stuff he's offering. Yeah. Anyway, you can explore there. Check it out. Very useful stuff. Nixie's a good guy. I think I might actually have to adjust this a bit, because I was thinking about the way the wrist would grab the other one, and there's some of that rotation happening here. So to compensate for that, I'm going to go back up to the shoulder, actually. And blur this. And there we go. That's better. Oh, I've got to bring that back in now. There we go. Questions. What are you guys saying here? Do I have an art station? I do. I don't really post much on there either. I need to post more on there, I guess. But I think you can find me the same way. I think it's Daniel Line Arts, if I'm not mistaken. I have not updated my art station in forever. It's just too many sites to keep up with, you know. It gets to the point where it's repeating the same process over and over, and I just want to shoot myself after a while, because I don't have the patience to post everywhere all the time. I stick mostly with my Instagram, but that's my ArtStation for those asking. Yeah, I think I threw up some stuff there last year from Trico, and if you go to that one listing that says Portfolio 2, because I'm an idiot, I didn't really realize how posting on ArtStation works. It's so dumb. I think they didn't let you just dump a bunch of stuff independently. Instead, you have to like categorize it. I don't know. Anyway, Portfolio 2 on there has a bunch of my like more up-to-date stuff, or at least it was then. Now there's a lot more than that, I guess. But there's some cool stuff on there. Trico's on there, my panda's on there, some bunch of raptors. It's old. I haven't updated it forever, but it's still got a lot of the stuff that's on my portfolio. So, Chia will never purchase that. Rather sculpt it yourself. Then do it. You have the freedom. I'm glad that people don't model with the red wax material anymore. Yeah, I like gray myself too. I don't like the red wax at all. I never really did. Sorry, Ofair. I think a lot of people don't like the red wax. Trying to help someone getting better at ZBrush, but I don't know what to teach them first because never really did it before. So what are the steps you think I should start with? Got to teach them how to sculpt on a sphere, I guess. You know, how to add subtools and understand the UI. It's a lot. I mean, I would direct them to the ZBrush classrooms, honestly. Z Classroom. It's free. And they can learn on their own, you know, to start, get familiar with the UI. Z Classroom is where I'd send them first. Moving camera. Sorry, Scraggy Dog. Was the moving camera like bothering you or something? Like ArtStation because it's so clean. Yeah, I hear you. Hootsuite for social media, really helpful. Oh yeah, Hootsuite. Yeah. I forgot about Hootsuite. I used to use that with social media marketing for sites that I was helping with back in the day, and I completely forgot about that. But yeah, Hootsuite. See, Crash was the best. Yep. Alright guys, we're at 5:30 here. I'm going to be wrapping up here soon because I am actually getting hungry. 2:30 a.m. here. Wow. Never go to sleep because of 2:30. Where are you? Where is it 2:30 a.m.? Are you in Europe? Or, no. What? Elizio, where? Elizio? Where are you? France. Aha, I knew Europe. Yeah. Dude, I love France. I haven't been there, but I've seen so much of it online. I want to go. I've been to Belgium and London and Germany. I really want to go to France and Italy. Those are definitely high up on my list. Speaking of high up, I think she needs to go up a little bit more too. Hello from Florida. Haha. Yeah, the Louvre, slightly awesome. 1:30 in UK. I love London. The UK is cool. At least it was when I went. And I wish I spent more time there. I'd like to go back. I love the accent too, man. Oh, that accent on women is amazing. I'm sure. I wonder, is it the same though for the British when they hear American accents? Do American men like the English, the American accent on women, or do they prefer the British accent? I guess they don't hear it really, but the British accent. But yeah, that British accent. French accent's very nice too. I think I'm gonna have to wrap the hand. The hand's gonna have to, yeah, because your hand does do some rotation there too. So I'm gonna have to kind of adjust for the metacarpals. So do a little something like that. And do a little bit of rotation right in here. Let's the hand curve around a little bit. And switch back to this solo for a sec. Let's see here. Is the mesh and low subdiv? Yeah, actually, it's still in the same middle ground. Guess it would be helpful to go back to lower in this case. I just don't even think about it half the time. I'll pop off by. It was great seeing your work. Thanks for inspiration. Hey, happy to be inspiring at all. Thanks for stopping by. What else is going on here? Sorry, I lost you before it glitches. It's all good. Derp. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get going here though, guys, soon, as it's a little past time and I need to get myself some dinner. But I'm gonna try to get a few fingers here going, and then I'm gonna bounce. Yeah, a Cheel, I'm not sure. A Cheel's kind of random over here. Wacom, what about Wacom? They are killing it. They have been killing it for a long time. Not perfect, but pretty damn good. All right, Achille, take care. Luzo, did I miss your question? Oh, sorry. All the way up there. Duh. Yeah, I didn't miss that. Do you know a good graphics tablet for a 400, 600? I mean, something that's not too bad for this price. Yeah. I'd agree with Archie on that sense then. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, sorry, so I missed that. Yeah, so there's a new tablet that Wacom has just come out with not too long ago. I will send you that link if you haven't heard about it. Let me show you quick. It's great. I think it's called the Wacom. What's it called? The Wacom One? Yeah, it's called the Wacom One. I think it's like $499, $399. Nice. Yeah, so about $400. So it's right in that range. It's a pretty. It looks like a pretty good product. I mean, if I needed an extra Cintiq, I would probably get it. So let me see here. Standard, but by no means better than the newer competitors. Sit back and use it. There you go. That's for Wacom. If you want to check out the Wacom One. A former roommate of mine has that, and he loved it. And yeah, so. You're welcome. Okay. Reheat your TV dinner. What? Actually, I do have a snack here. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm going to munch on a carrot because I am kind of doggy. I bet your dog is getting hungry. He's chilling. I just gave him some treats. Speaking of which, here you go. There you go. It's going to be fun playing with these fingers. I might actually have to put that one behind the thumb because how thin her wrists are. Yeah, it's a good idea actually. I might just reverse his hand just to help me with her placement. But I'll still have to use her hand because the fingers and the features are much more feminine. Uh-oh, created a monster. He's like, you give me a treat, I'll give me 10 more. Fingers and hands are very taxing. Yes, they are. To just hold your own wrist and model using. That's right. I've been looking at my own wrist and doing that here and there. Except my wrists are not the exact same as hers. It's looking a little rubbery, little rubber finger. I have to straighten out those planes a little bit. Real artist uses his feet. Nice. Grip is looking good. Thanks, man. It's slowly getting there. Slow taxing, slow and steady work. All right, buddy. Here you go. There you go. high are my subdivisions right now? Right now I'm at 2. I mean, the max I think is 6 right now for this one. Yeah, looks about right. Of course, all this area here is getting mashed in. This is all getting smushed, but part of that doesn't really matter as long as it looks good from the exterior out here, because Herbis is going to be pressed up against his, obviously, so it's going to be doing this. So you won't see some of that stuff in there. It's another thing you learn in production and just in anything in general. If something's not going to be seen, there's really not a need to put the work into it. I mean, if you want to do it for your own benefit, for your own education, sure. But often if something's not going to be seen, who cares? There's no need to waste time. Okay, that's about right. Ah, getting some stretching up here. Thanks, Dougie. Appreciate it, man. Take care. Nobody bouncing here. See myself. I'm going to finish this pinky, and I think that'll be it. So you want to have dinner first? At least give yourself a break. Yeah, I'm almost done here. I'm just going to... It's a thing. It's like your brain is competing. I want to complete something. I want to eat. I want to complete something. I want to eat. Where do I go? Yeah, I'm just going to finish this pinky up loosely. And call it an evening for streaming. But yeah, guys, feel free to follow me on my Instagram, please. I'm going to be posting more stuff on there soon about this dolphin project I'm working on for 3D printing an internal skeleton that'll be jointed and allow it to move inside of a... it'll move a flexible skin. I'll be printing that here probably this weekend, hopefully tomorrow. And then I'm also starting a new service with a friend of mine I should announce. For anyone who's an animator or looking to become one or wants to learn how to deconstruct a rig a little bit, a buddy of mine and I are starting a new site. I'm not even sure he's got it live yet or not. Let me double check. I think it might not be going live until tomorrow or the day after. But let's see here if he got it live yet or not. Okay, it's not live yet, but it's coming. Anyway, it's going to be readyrigs.net, and we are going to be starting to supply rigs. Your dog just took you dinner. This will be coming up, so just a little heads up, a little soft launch info. For anyone who's looking to animate, or we probably might offer. I've been thinking about it. We might offer some models as well, but for now it'll be rigs. So meaning that it'll be a model that has maps, and you'll be able to pose the model, of course, and animate it. So it'll be a rigged model, but it will be only low-res model with maps, so you can do rendering, animation, that kind of stuff. But that's coming. So yeah, it's private now. Like I said, it hasn't really launched yet. We're still figuring out some things. He's still got it on lockdown, but soon it'll be available, so just letting you guys know. It's coming, and it'll be cool. It's going to be growing slowly, but we'll be adding more and more rigs to it over the months and weeks coming. And should be a pretty good resource for anybody who wants to do some animation or deconstruct some animation-ready models. Good for students and professionals. We'll be doing a whole array of different levels, different tiers of detailed characters. So I'll probably have more for you guys on that in the next stream. But I think it should be going live tonight, tomorrow, maybe Monday. It depends on how he's wrapping things up, because he's the one doing more of the web design on that right now. But it's coming. Alright, I'm thinking that's a little bit. Yeah, they just be right up against each other. Yeah, that's me. Thank you, Dougie. That's coming and your dinner is gone. All right. Thanks, Dougie. Take care, man. Sorry, yeah, I was looking down this whole time when they were like, what's your Instagram? Yeah, it's Daniel, @DanielLionArts. Sorry, I posted it earlier, but I guess that's way up in the chat now. Yeah, sorry, I'm not meaning to ignore anybody. It's just I don't get any audible noise or any sound or anything when someone types in the chat. I just have to look up because it's just going to scroll up on its own. Thanks, Miss Wildfire. Appreciate it. And with that, I think we are about to call it a day. But we're making progress. Making progress. We're getting there. I think it'd be pretty cool. And just seeing this, like, again, people talking about inspiration, where you get it from. Even just seeing the way what were her coverings, the drapery, essentially. Seeing how that's flowing there, it gave me a new idea right now. I didn't have this idea before, but I think how beautiful would that be to have it flowing a bit over her and off of her in other areas as well, just to kind of, like the one that's on the, like the pieces here that are on the ground, for instance, like them billowing and pulling up a little bit as these pieces look like they are now. I think that'll be pretty cool too, to have some pieces that are flowing as his wings are creating such a downward air draft. It causes other elements of the cloth to billow up and have areas of arches and, like, you know, hollow spaces. So it'll be cool. I think we're going to come up with some pretty awesome stuff. So anyway, I'm happy with the I can't talk. I'm so hungry. I'm happy with where things are going now, and I think this is going to continue to get better and better as the time goes by. So let's save this there. Do a quick save. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me for these last 2.5 hours. Making progress here. So hopefully I'll be doing some more streaming on my own channel on YouTube, and possibly Twitch as well. Also do some gaming with some friends too. So we'll have a mixture of things out there for those who are interested. Scraggy Dog, thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody, for the kind words and good feedback. I appreciate it. Yeah, be well, stay safe, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next stream sooner than later. Thanks a lot. and I'll talk to you in the near future. Peace. Thanks, guys.